KMBC 9 News at 4 starts now.
Ethics report released the details emerging about former Representative Matt Gaetz through these 37 pages of allegations.
And it's a tight turnaround for the Kansas City Chiefs, the laser focus for the only practice ahead of game day.
Snow Creek is open for the season. The activities you can do right now up in Weston.
We start with your first alert weather as you plan your holiday activities. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jamie Weiss.
And I'm Jackson Kurtz. Laura and Kelly are off. Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby is in for Neville. Brian, we're about to warm up today, but 30s return at night. It's been nice out. 50s feels good.
Doesn't feel that bad at all, especially if you like warmer conditions. If you don't, well, unfortunately, it does not look like it's going to happen within the foreseeable future. Take a look at the current temperatures. Upper 40s to near 50 degrees, especially out toward Lawrence, right at 50, 50 in Olathe, 50 in Marshall. We have some cloudiness out there, but not much in the way of drizzle that's left over. Still fairly warm for this time of year. As you look here, especially 36 Highway and north, that's where we start to see some of those lower 40s. 43 degrees in Trenton. Farther south, though, you're milder. 53 degrees for Butler, 55 for Garnett. Here, according to First Alert Future Scan, we're going to see those clouds thin out quite a bit. We're going to dry out. And as Jackson mentioned, as temperatures drop, we'll probably be in the 30s, close to freezing, but most of the precipitation will be gone, so we don't have to worry about any problems on the roads. But other than that, it's not really going to be cold enough to support snow, and that's the problem. KMBC 9's Morgan Mopley is up live at Snow Creek, which is open about an hour ago. And Morgan, how's the snow looking out there?
Slopes are officially open here at Snow Creek. Brian, I got to show you, though, it is looking a little patchy right now because of that warmer weather. I've been talking to some skiers who are saying this is making their shred a little more difficult. Brian, I'm curious, when can crews out here expect a little bit of help from Mother Nature?
It's going to take some time, I'm afraid to say. If anything, we're going to be down into the 30s as mentioned at night, but you're going to need colder conditions throughout the daytime hours as well, and that's just not in the foreseeable future. Look at this. On First Alert Future Scan, it's not snow that's coming down farther to the south. It is all rain, so things remain pretty mild, that's for sure. What are the protocols for making snow up there, by the way, Morgan?
Well, Brian, first it has to be cold enough, of course, to make that snow. So crews here capitalized on the cold front last Thursday and Friday. If you remember that cold snap, that's when this whole process began. Typically, it has to be below 32 degrees to make this snow, and Mother Nature delivers that. Crews at Snow Creek use snow guns on top of the hill, compressed air, water, and cold temps, and voila, it is a winter wonderland here in Weston, Missouri. They can cover the full terrain in about 72 hours. However, we had a warm weekend to follow, and this week is full of days where high temps will be reaching the 50s. So while today is opening day, Snow Creek will really be operating on a day-to-day basis.
We're anticipating warm weathers in the upcoming weeks, so there might be a brief pause in operations, but continuing on from that, we're going to make as much snow as we can and have people up here skiing and snowboarding.
Now, this is only partially open. Skiing and snowboarding on partial terrain is a go. If you are maybe less athletic like me and you prefer the snow tubing, you're just going to have to show some patience and wait on that. They did hint it could be coming very soon, maybe even this week. You will have to keep checking back on their website for that. Reporting live in Weston, Morgan Mobley, KMBC 9 News.
Morgan, I was expecting you to get on the snowboard and just go past everybody. Just shred down. Winter games, I was expecting it, but...
Maybe next time. Maybe next live shot. All right. Thanks, Morgan. Well, Snow Creek's early season hours of operation, they'll be from 3 to 9 p.m. today, 9 to 4 tomorrow, and then 3 to 9 on Wednesday. That's Christmas Day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. December 26th through January 5th. Keep in mind, this is all, of course, weather pending.
And just 2 days ago, the Kansas City Chiefs were on the field at Arrowhead, and in 2 days from now, they'll be in Pittsburgh to face the Steelers.
And KMBC 9's Dennis Evans joins us now with more on this hard stretch.
Yeah, the Chiefs wishing they were skiing, probably wanting a little bit of a break about right now. In the final push of the season, they've had 3 games in under 2 weeks. Taylor Kaufman has more from the Chiefs practice about their mindset going into this quick turnaround.
The Kansas City Chiefs just played Saturday, and they're already prepping to fly out tomorrow. It's a short week, just 3 days between playing the Texans and going to play the Steelers. 2 tough AFC opponents. Here's what the team said about how they're handling this short turnaround.
It was definitely exciting until I realized it was on Wednesday. I think it is really cool playing the first Netflix game, playing on Christmas Day.
Yeah, man, you get to play football, man. Everybody, his body's inked up at this part of the season. Everybody else at the house, man, play football in college. I love to be here. So you got to take that mindset, man, on days like that, them dog days. And, yeah, man, just find a way to just kind of get 1% better every single day.
Patrick Mahomes also said he's in a better place ankle-wise, but he is a little sore with this short week. The Chiefs and Steelers kick off Wednesday, Christmas Day at noon on Netflix. From outside of Arrowhead, I'm Taylor Kaufman, KMBC 9 News.
Thank you, Taylor. Remember this last season, the Raiders, they came in, they ruined Christmas for the Chiefs and a lot of Kansas City. Only fair that the Chiefs go in and do the same in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, really hoping so. Thank you, Dennis. And the Chiefs, they're going to get a nice break after this demanding stretch ends. They're not going to play again until January 5th. They'll face the Broncos in Denver.
And here's the latest drive times this afternoon. Downtown to Lee Summit on 71 highways, 19 minutes downtown to Blue Springs, 17 minutes downtown to Olathe. I-35 is 18 minutes. Now let's take a live look at the roads. We're watching a two-vehicle crash on I-49 northbound. This is in Grandview near the Red Bridge Road. We're not seeing any backups right now, but emergency crews are on the scene there.
Now we do want to get to D.C., where the House Ethics Committee has released its report on former Representative Matt Gaetz. The committee alleges that Gaetz paid 12 women for sex between 2017 and 2020. Those payments added up to $100,000. One woman testified that she was just 17 years old when it happened. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoings. Over the weekend, Gaetz shared his thoughts about joining Congress again.
Maybe I'll just run for Marco Rubio's vacant seat in the United States Senate and join some of those folks. And my friend Steve Bannon and others have suggested that I return to the House of Representatives on January 3rd.
The report also accuses Gaetz of illegal drug use, acceptance of improper gifts, granting special favors to personal associates, and obstruction after Gaetz refused to comply with subpoenas and withheld evidence from the committee. A Justice Department investigation ended with no charges against him.
A Kansas City representative returns to troubled apartments, the help he provided for the holidays.
And right now, holiday travel is being interrupted out east. The Arctic Black dumping snow on several states.
And help for Santa. One man played the role of Jolly St. Nick for his neighborhood for years. The struggle his family is left with.
Your station leading the way with First Alert Weather, Kansas City's most experienced team, KMBC 9 News.
Welcome back. More than 100 million Americans are expected to travel today, and that counts both the roads and the skies.
And now a storm heading for the East Coast could lead to some bumps. It's already dumped snow from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts, all during an expected travel record. One passenger we spoke with says he's been pleasantly surprised about how quick things are moving.
It's been pretty smooth, yeah. So, so far.
And on the other coast, the Pacific Northwest could be in for a wet Christmas. It's expected to be hit by a wave after wave of atmospheric river moisture.
So let's check it with Brian. And how are things looking across the nation for travel right now?
And those are the two problems. I could stand right in the center of the country. There's going to be rain down in Texas and Oklahoma, but on either coast, up and down the eastern seaboard, as you mentioned, in New England, some snow, and also another storm system moving onshore, warmer on the immediate shore, but then in the higher elevations of the Rockies, you're going to get some of that snow. That's going to slow you down. Possibly some delays for San Francisco and Denver. Dallas may be a little slow going, as is Houston, with those showers and thunderstorms possible. And then farther to the east and northeast, LaGuardia, Newark, JFK could be slow going as well, Boston for that matter. But in the center of the country, we're going to be too mild for that. No real problems on the roads, but as you see here, there could be some treacherous travel here and there, especially to the northeast, out west, and down south. But otherwise, right in the middle of the country, we should be in pretty good shape. But it's going to be warm, as mentioned.
All right, Brian, thank you. Union members reach out to a representative to help. Congressman Emanuel Cleaver's visit to the Independence Towers and the help he brought with him.
One neighborhood Santa Claus is gone. We'll introduce you to his wife and the help she needs right now.
Colorful donations for Children's Mercy, the restaurant starting a new initiative to help those in need.
Your station leading the way, solving problems, getting results, holding the powerful accountable. KMBC 9 investigates.
An update to a story KMBC 9 Investigates has been following for months. Several renters are on strike at the Independence Towers. They're demanding repairs, citing terrible living conditions.
And today, Congressman Emanuel Cleaver gave residents holiday turkeys. He met with union members before, seeing the damage the building firsthand earlier this year. He hopes the turkeys are a small gesture that these tenants will not be forgotten.
During this Christmas season, we want to make sure that those problems that are still here will be addressed to the degree that we have influence to make it such. And also, this is my little way of giving turkeys to say, hey, I'm still here, I'm still with you, we're going to try to do everything we can.
Cleaver says he's closely working with mortgage company Fannie Mae, who just bought out the complex. They have already invested money in repairs.
We were there in September when tenants showed Cleaver the issues they were living with, including fire damage that has still not been fixed from June.
This is horrible. Whatever the adjective next to horrible.
KMBC9 has documented tenant struggles for months. To see all of our previous reporting, go to KMBC.com and click on the Investigates tab.
A beloved neighborhood Santa passes away suddenly. His family is left reeling 2 days before Christmas. KMBC9's Krista Tatchell is live outside Clay Como with a display he put up every year for neighborhood children. Krista.
Yeah, Jackson, Greg Olson every single year for 24 years put up this really great Christmas display, and he was supposed to be in that Santa sleigh this year. But as you mentioned, he suddenly passed away Saturday morning, leaving his family wondering what to do next as people are already coming by and enjoying these decorations. Well, we spoke with his companion, Karen Olson, today, and she was his companion for 30 years. And she says she doesn't really know on this day how to carry on. She said she and Greg cared for their adult son, Sydney, who has Down syndrome. Christmas was their favorite family time. Olson says children were lined up at her gate even last night to see Santa, and she had to tell their parents the tragic news. She thinks this may be the last year of their own homemade North Pole.
I would say I love you so much, and I hope I have a lot of time with you, because I know he's not here and I can't tell him that. I mean, sometimes people don't tell people that they love him every day, and you better do it because he didn't have any signs that he was sick.
We asked Karen today, is there any way that people could help her? And she said she doesn't know at this time. She is thinking about selling some of the items that are part of this display. She also said that her friends are going to help her take these down in the next couple of days. She is also asking parents who will be coming by, as many have already stopped and said, we've been coming here for years. Parents who come by, just let their kids know that Santa won't be here at this time. We're live in Clay Como. I want to mention that Greg was 62 years old and there is no cause of death. Krista Tatchell, KMBC 9 News.
So sad. Thank you, Krista. The display will be lit up tonight as usual starting around 5:30.
Here are your latest drive times this afternoon. Downtown to Lee Summit on 71 Highway looking at a 19-minute drive. Downtown to Bonner Springs on I-70, 14 minutes. While downtown to Olathe on I-35 is 18 minutes. Let's take a live look at the roads, and this is going to be a problem for folks. A multi-vehicle crash in Grandview is backing things up on I-49 southbound. This is a look just before the scene at 155th Street, and it appears things have just cleared. So we could see some progress being made. Keep in mind, right lane still partially closed, having been just reopened. So if this is a part of your evening commute, keep in mind, going to see some delays at least for the next couple of minutes.
Well, ordering for your favorite restaurant can mean giving back in big ways.
And KMBC9's Darissa White visited Homegrown in Brookside, whose partnership with Children's Mercy is serving up kindness.
Right now, when you stop in, you're not just ordering your favorite meal, you're also ordering a side of kindness.
Hi, everybody.
Their goal is simple. They want kids at Children's Mercy to feel a sense of normalcy during the holidays, despite their circumstances. They partnered with Children's Mercy for the first time to create a kids menu that are pre-addressed to the hospital. Each letter also comes with a $5 donation from Homegrown.
We really just wanted to find an opportunity to give back to our community this holiday season. Our community is so near and dear to our hearts. So we created this children's menu, and it is already pre-addressed to Children's Mercy. So each child will get at Children's Mercy will get a drawing and a little message from someone who's eaten at Homegrown.
They said there's no specific deadline for this initiative. In fact, they said they're going to mail them until they run out. Reporting in Brookside, Darissa White, KMBC 9 News.
So cool to see. And when all those menus run out, Homegrown will have their regular kids menus, and those still have letters that can be addressed to anyone.
Exclusive live radar and 9-day forecast, so you'll know first. This is First Alert Weather.
Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets. Have
At Homegrown?
Maybe, I don't know about that.
Homegrown is good. It's
Yeah.
good. Well, we're not going to have a white Christmas.
Nope.
But it's nice out.
It is nice. Not bad at all. You know, if the roads can stay clear after a snow, it'd be
That
great.
would be my gift.
It'd be everybody's good fortune there. But as we're looking here, we had a lot of clouds earlier. when Jamie and I were doing the noon and Nick was talking, or Katie rather, was talking in the morning, we had some drizzle and some thicker clouds, and now it looks like some blue is trying to break out as it's thinning out just a little bit. Current temperature, as Jackson was talking about, warmer than you'd expect. We're at 46. That dew point quite low, so although we have clouds, we're not going to get any rain or snow for that matter. With a northwest wind at 6 miles an hour, we had some gusty winds earlier today, but they're going to continue to die down. Now tomorrow morning, our low temperature get down to the freezing point, 29 for Leavenworth, mid to upper 20s as you're heading farther north, but the precip will be done, so I'm not worried about icing on the roads necessarily. And anyway, the precip is pretty light, as it has been most of the day. Farther down to the south, that's where you see temperatures above freezing, but still kind of cool. A jacket necessary as we're in those lower to middle 30s. Afternoon highs on your Tuesday, still in the ballpark, above normal. We should be in the lower 40s, 42 Odessa, 43 degrees in Atchison, mid 40s out toward Lawrence. That wind flow coming in from the northeast, which is going to normally cool you down. Clouds are not going to help matters. Here's a look at First Alert clouds and radar, looking at what we saw this morning. And there's the replay of a few showers here and there. Part of a storm system is just kind of sitting on us for the time being, keeping that northeast wind flow all together. High pressure will try to move in to scour out some of those clouds. That's currently the case. Remember, I mentioned some problems out to the west, and Jackson was talking about the atmospheric river with another storm system plowing into, say, not too far away from Seattle and even Portland, Oregon. And this is the one that's going to cause some issues up and down the eastern seaboard. So according to First Alert Future Scan, this is the way it's going to play out for us. In and out of the clouds, rain showers farther down to the south. This is 9 in the morning tomorrow. The farther south you go, the more likely you're going to run into that. Otherwise, most of us just dry. It looks threatening all day, but as far as the temperatures are concerned, going to stay relatively mild. Exclusive First Alert 9-day forecast, as mentioned, close to 32, afternoon high of 44 degrees as we're looking at Christmas Eve, starting in those 30s and ending up with a high temperature of about 44 degrees with a northeast wind at about 10 miles an hour. Then 30 to 46 degrees on Wednesday, which is a busy day for holidays. Talking Christmas Day itself, kind of cloudy and chilly, 46 for the afternoon. Evening, 5:01 is when Hanukkah starts, and by that time it'll start to cool down a little bit to about 41 degrees. Checking out the rest of the forecast, Thursday warming up, 52, chance of drizzle. Friday, 54 degrees, another chance of some drizzle Saturday morning. Then it clears out but stays warm with highs in the 50s and morning temperatures above freezing in the 30s and then upper 20s as we're heading into next Wednesday.
All right, Brian, thank you. We're working to keep you safe with a couple of recall alerts. First, Nuna Baby Essentials is recalling more than 600,000 of these Reva Baby car seats.
And the company says debris can get into the front harness adjuster, which can lead to a loose harness. There are no reports of any injuries. These seats were made between July 2016 and October 2023. So if you have one, please get in touch with the company. You will get a kit to fix it. If the harness is working properly, you can keep using the seat. And the FDA is recalling millions of cans of coconut water. Regulators say the seal on cans of Doritos coconut water could be compromised, meaning harmful bacteria could get in. The most serious risk is botulism. The cans come in a 12-pack carton sold in 29 states, including Kansas and Missouri. If you have them, just throw them out. You have 2 more weeks to enjoy a once-in-a-lifetime exhibit at Union Station. Disney 100, the exhibition, will soon head to its next destination. It has 10 galleries with hundreds of artifacts from some of Disney's most popular characters and films. It's open most days starting at 10 a.m., but it'll be closed for Christmas. The last day to visit is January 5th.
Not guilty. The man accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO enters his plea. The next steps for his high-profile case.
Report released. The information one House committee found on former Representative Matt Gaetz and why it's coming out now.
Lawsuit filed the allegations against actor Justin Baldoni from actress Blake Lively, all from their timing filming It Ends With Us.
And drivers have at least one thing on their side this holiday season. On KMBC 9 News at 5, the gas prices greeting you for this road trip. Actress Blake Lively is accusing her It Ends With Us co-star of sexual harassment. Lively claims Justin Baldoni tried to ruin her image when she spoke out.
ABC's Rhiannon Alley breaks down the allegations in a new court filing.
I thought we were friends.
We are friends.
This morning, actress Blake Lively accusing her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment and orchestrating a smear campaign designed to destroy her reputation. Over the weekend, Lively filing a complaint in California alleging sexual misconduct on set, saying Baldoni showed her nude videos and images of women, discussed sexual conquests, and criticized Lively's weight.
Stop walking through this party following me around.
Can you just shut up for 1 second?
The filing detailing a meeting held to address the concerns Lively says she was retaliated against for speaking up. The filing includes messages Lively says show the alleged coordinated scheme between Baldoni's team and a crisis management expert. One message reading, "We can bury anyone." Another saying, "I'm having reckless thoughts of wanting to plant pieces this week of how horrible Blake is to work with." An attorney for Baldoni firing back in a statement to ABC News, writing these claims are completely false, adding a crisis manager was hired prior to the film's marketing campaign due to the multiple demands and threats made by Miss Lively during production, which included her threatening to not show up to set and threatening to not promote the film. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
And Lively says she backed out of hosting Saturday Night Live because of the smear campaign. Over the weekend, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency.
The man accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare is back in court. This steps ahead after his not guilty plea.
A report released the findings of the House Ethics Committee and a former representative, Matt Gaetz.
Commuting death penalties. I'm Christopher Salas in Washington with reaction to President Joe Biden's decision to spare the lives of dozens of men on death row.
Your station leading the way with coverage of what's happening right now and what's next. KMBC 9 News.
First appearance in New York court. In 2 minutes, the not guilty plea from the man accused of murdering the CEO of United Healthcare and the next steps.
In a report released in 4 minutes, the new information we're learning from a House committee about the allegations against former Representative Matt Gaetz.
Sentences commuted. Also in 4 minutes, the action taken by President Biden before leaving office.
But first, we want to get with First Alert weather with Christmas Eve tomorrow and Hanukkah starting on the 25th.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby joining us now to help you plan all of your holiday festivities.
Santa's been on the phone quite a bit. He's not that happy with not seeing much snow in the Midwest. Actually, the lower 48, with the exception of the corners, going to not really feel like winter, and here's evidence of that. Look at our temperatures. Those are 50s out toward Marshall, right at 50 degrees. 50 also down toward Warrensburg. 50s even above that as you're heading out toward Ottawa. 50 in Lawrence, and 40s as you look at 36 Highway and north. We had some thicker clouds up there. We had some drizzle earlier that Katie was tracking for you as well. But looking at First Alert Future Scan, the trend is thinner clouds, as you just saw in our State of View camera. Any leftover precipitation starts to the south for the time being. With another storm system moving toward us, that will increase the clouds once again and increase our chances of rain, not snow, heading into Tuesday and possibly into Wednesday as well. But I think right now, not necessarily as widespread on Wednesday before it picks right back up on the second half of the work week. But looking here, I-70 and north, mostly sunny. 70 in South, a little cloudy and possibly very wet as you're heading down toward Nevada, Missouri, among others. We'll check out the temperature trend coming up a little later on during this half hour.
Forward to that. Thank you, Brian. Here's the latest drive times for your afternoon. Downtown to KCI on I-29 is 17 minutes. We know that's going to be a very popular route. Downtown to Liberty on I-35 is 11 minutes, while downtown to Bonner Springs on I-70 just 13 minutes. Now we want to take a live look at the roads. Ooh, it's looking good. The usual slowdown on 71 Highway at 19th Street. Non-existent at this point as we start the holiday week. You can still see some brake lights here and there, but that lane is usually a lot more backed up, so all lanes running smoothly in this area.
Well, right now, Kansas City, Missouri police need your help finding a suspect in a deadly hit and run. This happened almost 2 weeks ago on 83rd Terrace and Troost. The victim, 46-year-old Philip Castleberry, died Saturday from his injuries. Detectives are still looking for a 2009 to 2012 gray Nissan Altima with a temporary tag. They say the driver has facial hair and in his 20s or 30s. The car could have damage on the windshield or passenger door. And if you can help, call the Crime Stoppers Tips hotline.
The man accused of murdering the CEO of United Healthcare was in a New York courtroom today. Luigi Mangione was surrounded by officers during his arraignment. ABC's Alexis Christoforous is in court and shares what happened.
With his hands and feet shackled, Luigi Mangione walked into a Manhattan court. Dressed in a maroon sweater, white-collared shirt, and khaki pants, he only spoke once to enter the plea during his arraignment.
Charge you with the crime of murder in the first degree and other related charges. How do you plead to this indictment, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Mangione faces 11 state charges in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and he faces separate federal charges.
He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball.
Mangione's attorney saying elected officials are using him as political fodder.
He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career. It was absolutely unnecessary.
Mangione's high-profile arrival in New York last week after his arrest in Pennsylvania.
This act of terrorism and the violence that stems from it is something that would not be tolerated in the city.
The mayor was talking to jurors, future potential jurors that elected him. Those are the people that elected him, that he is talking to and calling this man a terrorist.
Justice for some, not justice for all!
Outside of court, a chaotic scene as dozens of protesters chanting support for Mangione, some holding handmade signs with messages including "In Luigi We Trust" and "Health over Wealth."
Being called a terrorist is an insult to the intelligence of the American people. That's coming from a school teacher who has to deal with school shootings.
Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
The state's case is expected to be tried before the federal case against Mangione. The state carries a sentence, the charges carry a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. But if convicted of the federal charges, Mangione could get the death penalty.
Now to D.C., where the House Ethics Committee has released its report on former Representative Matt Gaetz.
The committee alleges that Gaetz paid 12 women for sex between 2017 and 2020. Those payments added up to $100,000. One woman testified that she was just 17 years old when it happened. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoing.
And coming up on KMBC 9 News at 5, we'll take a deeper dive into the report, the other things Gaetz is accused of, and the rules he's accused of violating while in office.
President Joe Biden has commuted the sentences of more than 36 men facing the death penalty, and these men were all convicted of murder.
They have a range of victims: police officers, campers on federal land, prison guards, and inmates. KMBC 9's Christopher Salas is live in our Washington bureau with more on the president's reasoning. Christopher.
Hey, Jackson, Jamie, President Joe Biden is a practicing Catholic. He's a longtime opponent of the death penalty, and he mentioned his conscience twice in this short statement he gave explaining why he is commuting nearly all of the pending federal executions. Now, this decision from the president has garnered strong reaction from both sides, including criminal justice advocates and families of the victims. In a sweeping move, President Joe Biden commuting death penalty sentences for 37 men, keeping them in prison for life. The president said in a statement he condemns the murderers, grieves for the victims, and aches for the families. But guided by conscience and experience, I am more convinced than ever that we must stop the use of the death penalty at the federal level. Among the sentences commuted, Jorge Torres, who was convicted of killing Navy sailor Amanda Snell. Snell's mother told me in a statement, "I'm not happy about it. I think the only saving grace of it is that either way, he's never going to get out of prison. Biden said the commutations do not apply to cases of terrorism and hate-motivated mass murder, leaving 3 men on death row. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, who with his now dead brother carried out the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. Robert Bowers killed 11 people at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history in 2018. And Dylan Roof, who targeted a black church in Charleston, South Carolina, killing 9 of its members in 2015. The president said he also made the decision to stop President-elect Donald Trump. During his first administration, Trump resumed the death penalty after a 16-year pause, executing 13 prisoners. He frequently mentions expanding capital punishment.
And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
In a late-breaking statement this afternoon from the Trump transition team, a spokesperson called President Joe Biden's decision to commute these death sentences, quote, abhorrent. He also said it's a slap in the face to the victims, their families, and their loved ones, adding that President Donald Trump is for the rule of law, which will return when he returns to the White House. Jamie Jackson.
And Christopher, before you go, were any of these commutations connected to Kansas or Missouri?
Yeah, Jackson, so we have 4 connected to Missouri. First, we have Billy Jerome Allen and Norris Holder. They were co-defendants sentenced in 1998. The pair were convicted and sentenced for their involvement in an armed bank robbery in St. Louis, during which a bank guard was shot and killed. Wesley Paul Kuntz and then Charles Hall, those were also co-defendants that were sentenced in 2014 in Missouri, convicted for the death of a fellow prisoner in the mental health unit of a federal prison in Missouri. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Christopher. Today's announcements were not pardons, but commutations. A commutation reduces a sentence, while a pardon releases someone from punishment and restores civil liberties. And Starbucks workers are on strike. The Missouri store the strike is expanding to right now.
A community landmark up in flames. The grocery store that needs to be rebuilt south of the metro.
Plus, rescuing stranded skiers, the dozens that had to be rescued after a Colorado lift malfunctioned.
Your station leading the way with First Alert Weather, Kansas City's most experienced team, KMBC 9 News.
Joe, hang on. 174 people rescued off a ski lift. They were lowered to the ground, just like you see here in this video, after being stuck in midair for 6 hours.
Just scary. This happened in Winter Park, Colorado over the weekend. No one was hurt. Passengers say they're thankful for the first responders who saved their Christmas trip.
The ski patrol dropped in like Santa Claus and told us all what was going to happen.
Investigators say a cracked piece of metal was part of the malfunction that broke part that has been now replaced.
Oh, that terrifies me.
No, thank you.
Love roller coasters?
I love a roller coaster, but that,
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Ski lifts I have a tough time with. Anyway. Turning to weather, right?
I'm scared speechless,
No snow,
Brian.
no snow. There you go. There's a transition.
There you go. Appreciate it. That's why they're anchors and I'm over here. 44 in Leavenworth, 46 degrees Tonganoxie. Warmer than you'd expect. We should be in the lower 40s, but some folks are already in the 50s, especially down I-35 on the Kansas side. Check it out. Overland Park, 50, 1 degree. Warmer out toward Gardner and about the same in Olathe in between. Grandview, 51, 45 in Liberty, 47 degrees in Excelsior Springs. Region-wide, still 40s to the north, 50s down south. If you're heading out this evening, the winds have died down. They were pretty gusty earlier today, but now that they're dying down, the wind chills aren't that much of a factor, so not a heavier coat necessarily, but maybe a light jacket. Speaking of light, we're seeing lighter cloudiness right now. 46 degrees with a wind chill of 43, so not too far away from the temperature itself. It will continue to fall through the 40s and get into the 30s a couple hours after sun goes down, and the wind chills themselves in the 30s as a rule. We'll check out a warming trend in the 9-day forecast and chances of rain, not snow, coming up.
All right, thanks, Brian. Starbucks workers are growing their strike. The Missouri store where employees are walking out.
And thousands of dollars donated to rebuild a Missouri grocery store, the devastating fire, and the metro connection to this spot.
And Consumer Reports is helping you buy safer toys. The recommendations from one doctor and a fellow parent.
Your station leading the way with breaking news, getting you the facts when it's happening right now. KMBC 9 News.
Just into the newsroom, former President Bill Clinton has been hospitalized. The 78-year-old was admitted to Georgetown University Medical Center in Washington after developing a fever. Clinton will go through testing and observations. His deputy chief of staff says he's in good spirits.
Well, right now, Starbucks union workers are expanding their strike. They're now striking in 11 states. Those states are on your screen right now. You can see Missouri is included in the list. The store on strike is not in our area. It's on the other side of the state near St. Louis. Workers in Richmond Heights are walking off the job. Richmond Heights is less than 10 minutes west of St. Louis. The Starbucks Workers Union says the chain has failed to meet its demand for immediate and future pay raises.
A community is cleaning up after a fire burned down Scott's General Store in Icona, Missouri. The site is a stronghold for many Kansas City area Boy Scouts. KBC 9's Alan Shope explains the impact.
There's nothing compares to what this store meant.
It's a community landmark that now sits in rubble.
It's an icon.
Bryce says it took 8 additional fire departments to knock out the blaze. Store owner Shannon Tucker lives next door to the general store. He woke up at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, not to a noise, but to a sight.
The orange glow caught my attention, wouldn't know what that was.
He rushed outside to see his livelihood up in flames. He knows what the business meant to the area, being the only grocery store 20 miles any direction.
Try not to get too emotional, but yeah, you never know how much of a difference you make.
The general store, originally built in 1896, has been the community grocery store in one way or another nearly the entire time.
We also have a gas pump, so we have a 1,000-gallon tank above ground on the other side of the store we were very worried about.
Power crews spent the afternoon disconnecting the building. It's a building that's well known to many Kansas City area Boy Scouts because this is where they got their daily supplies during those summer camps.
Boy Scouts from all over the United States. That's what hurts.
Shannon says he's had dozens of friends drive by on Sunday to check on his family and make sure they're okay, to also tell them that hopefully he'll reopen someday.
I'm not good at quitting. I've already set my sights on the next steps to getting it back into shape. You know, the store means so much to me, but it means so much more to everybody else.
In Iconium, Missouri, Alan Shope, KMBC 9 News.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation, but if you'd like to help, a GoFundMe has been set up for the family to help them rebuild. So far, more than $57,000 has been raised. We want to take a moment to thank all of you who have donated to KMBC 9 Cares for Kids. Because of your support, we've raised more than $600,000 over the last 2 years. The money benefits 6 local nonprofits, including Lead to Read KC. The organization works with local school districts to help kids improve their reading skills. They use volunteer reading mentors to do this. They spend 1 hour a week reading with kids. Studies have shown that if a child isn't reading proficiently by the 3rd grade, their chances of dropping out by high school skyrocket. So as part of our season of giving this December, we want to ask you to donate to Lead to Read or consider becoming a reading mentor. Just scan this QR code on your screen now to get involved or to learn more about any of our Cares for Kids organizations. You can also get the information online at kmbc.com/community.
Well, KMBC 9 Chronicle is a documentary series focused on the Kansas City area. And for the last 5 years, we produced over a dozen chronicles on a variety of topics.
And that includes The War Within, where 4 people shared their personal stories about living with mental illness. One of the people you'll meet is strange music artist Mackenzie Nicole.
I don't believe everything happens for a reason, but I do believe everything serves a purpose.
By the time she graduated high school, Mackenzie Nicole had a record deal and was performing for crowds across the country. But inside, the darkness she had been fighting for years was taking over.
At a point, I resigned myself and made peace with the fact that my life would be short and end with me killing myself. I remember being on tour in 2018, alone in a hotel room, thinking, this is how I'm going to die, alone in a hotel room one day. It's to live for you.
Weeks before her 19th birthday, Mackenzie found herself driving around Kansas City, ready to give up.
I just started sobbing. I just lost it. I just broke down. So I called my mom and I told her, I'm going to kill myself. I told her, yeah, I'm just warning you that the expiration date's coming up and I don't want you to be prepared when it happens because it's going to happen. And I don't want to catch you off guard. And I feel like I owe that to you. And she said, no. She said, we got to slow down. That's not how this is going to happen. That's just simply not.
Her introspective album, Mystic, documents the mental health struggles that almost took her life.
Just a shadow of what I was, and I'm trying to make it out the woods.
Every song telling part of her story.
When I made Mystic, it was at a point where I felt like I was worth nothing and my experiences were worth nothing and nothing I made was worth anything. All of a sudden I had this thing in my hands that I loved and I created that like something good came from me.
Oh, wait, but don't leave me alone. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I wanna go.
I realized, man, if I can make something good, maybe I'm good.
Chronicle, The War Within, is available to stream right now on the Very Local app. You can also watch several of our other Chronicle documentaries, and the easiest way to do so is search KMBC Chronicle in the Very Local app.
Exclusive live radar and 9-day forecast, so you'll know first. This is First Alert Weather.
Well, I'm excited to see the Chiefs on Christmas Day in Pittsburgh. That'll be fun.
If we can actually watch the Chiefs since it's on Netflix.
Yeah, we have problems.
Oh, that's right.
Fingers crossed.
First world problems.
I know, but at least like weather-wise, we don't have to worry about if you want to go out to watch with anyone, if any family members on Christmas.
Not at all. The roads are in great shape. Temperatures are warm. The only thing, I guess, if you got your kid a sled, that's not going to work.
Back in the drawer.
That's just not going to work. Temperatures right now, as you're seeing here with our City View camera, Showing you on our first computer system, that would be on the other one, just to show you over the plaza. We have a pretty nice condition going on with some thin clouds and not much going on with regard to rain or snow, especially with the temperature at 46, with a northwest wind at 6 miles an hour. And that's going to continue to be the case. Dry this evening, not much to worry about there. Our low temperatures, you saw just a glimpse of where we are right now in the 40s. We're going to drop all the way to the freezing point, 30 for Liberty, 28 degrees up toward Cameron, and even about the same up toward Trenton. Cooler up toward Maryville at 26 and farther south warmer, 37. That's the beginning out toward Butler. In the afternoon high, with a northeast wind kind of fighting it, 46 will be the high temperature then, 46 also toward Lawrence, 47's a pair of them out to the south and west of us, and cooler to the north and northeast, only in the 30s is what you're going to manage. We have a cold front that's moving through. It's not necessarily living up to its name. It's not cold, but it is going to keep the temperature about in the 40s for a high. Later on tonight, we're going to drop partly until these clouds move out. We're not going to drop rapidly, but we are going to see the storm systems continue to push farther from the south and southwest toward us. Only about a 20% chance of getting wet tomorrow, and that's going to be in the form of very light drizzle or light rain starting even south of 50 Highway initially. On Wednesday, the holiday itself, it dries out, but another system moves through. Best chances will be on Thursday into Friday, and then not quite as much on Saturday. Right now, we're thinking about making Thursday an impact day because of that chance of rain that'll be moving through. Have to work on the timing just a little bit more. Exclusive First Alert 9-day forecast, freezing point to 44 on Tuesday. Here's how we'll get there. A lot of clouds, so filtered sunshine at best, and the high temperature 44 with that northeast wind at 10 miles an hour. It is a double. Talking two different holidays going on. Christmas Day itself, 46 the high temperature, so cold all day with a good deal of cloudiness. At sunset, that's when Hanukkah takes over, and the temperature will continue to drop off, but 41 degrees at sunset, but starting off in the 30s that morning. Thursday, 39 to 52 degrees, chance of drizzle and rain. That'll probably be our best opportunity for that. Friday, 54 degrees. Morning drizzle on Saturday, clears out and stays fairly warm on Sunday through Tuesday, and then cools down a little bit more on Wednesday with a high then closer to 38 degrees. So it is going to cool down quite a bit. Highs on Wednesday to review across the entire region, all in the 40s, closer to 50 degrees, but not quite there. And then heading into Thursday as well, you'll see those high temperatures getting back into the 50s.
Well, Consumer Reports is helping you have a safe Christmas. The toy recommendations and the doctor backing them up. Watching your kids play with their new toys is one of the most joyful parts of the holidays.
But how do parents know which toys are the safest and the best? Well, Consumer Reports has some tips on what parents should consider. Dr. Daria Long is an emergency room physician. She's also a parent who loves seeing her kids' eyes light up when they open that perfect present.
it does make you feel good to say, okay, here's a toy that they enjoy that will keep him occupied, that I know also kind of challenges him and I know also is safe.
It's important to always read labels to ensure a toy is appropriate for a child's age and development level. For example, choking is a hazard for kids ages 3 or younger because they tend to put objects in their mouths.
So I call it the toilet paper rule. If anything, a toy or any item is small enough to fit into that little cardboard roll of the toilet paper tube, and it is small enough that a young child could put it in their mouth, which means it could be a choking or swallowing hazard.
Toys made of fabric should be labeled as flame resistant or flame retardant. Stuffed toys should be washable. Art materials should be non-toxic, and avoid older painted toys that might contain lead. Also, be careful with button and lithium coin batteries. They can be found in remote controls, key fobs, toys with lights, and digital thermometers.
We see cases of children swallowing button batteries every single year in the ER. Button batteries are everywhere. And if a child swallows one, it can become lodged in their esophagus, where it can actually burn a hole through the tissue and can be life-threatening in as little as 2 hours.
So what should you look for when shopping for toys? For babies under 1, focus on toys like an activity mat with high contrast colors that can help with cognitive development. For toddlers, look for toys that support their motor development like push walkers. Playing with music toys can lay the foundation for language development, encourage fine motor skills, and help toddlers express emotion. For children ages 2 to 3, consider larger puzzles, stackable blocks, or beginner building sets to help develop fine and gross motor skills. And remember, when you have kids of different ages, it's important to have separate toy spaces and teach older children to keep their small toys out of reach of younger siblings.
Some good advice. Thanks for joining us at 4. Ahead at 5, the Chiefs could make franchise history Christmas Day.
And the record the team hopes to break, plus a Liberty man is not giving up, the step he's taking to hopefully make a senior's dream come true. Those stories are next on KMBC 9 News at 5.